You see them everywhere. The older, powerful, successful woman, often worth millions, walking hand in hand with a man 10, 15, sometimes 20 years younger. You think to yourself, it's just about the money, or it's just for the sex. But that's a lie. That's the easy answer. Today, we are going to expose the brutal, uncomfortable psychological truth about why older women who have already achieved success and stability ditch the successful older man for the younger guy. This is about a deep primal shift in her needs, a hunger for a type of energy the older man can no longer give. It's about a hidden transaction that has nothing to do with retirement funds and everything to do with time, fear, and the final desperate hunt for validation. Everywhere you look, the rule book is being flipped. The successful, older man, the one who spent 20 years building his career, the one with the big house and the money, he's getting left behind. He's confused. He asks, I provided everything. I gave her stability. Why did she choose the guy who drives a beat-up truck and still lives in an apartment? You think the problem is your looks or your money. You think it's a simple, unfair trade. But the uncomfortable truth that 99% of men miss is this. When a woman reaches her peak of success or hits a certain age, her entire survival programming flips upside down. She stops looking for the provider frame and starts desperately hunting for the lover frame and the challenge frame that only raw, young energy can supply. I'm not talking about just physical looks. I'm talking about a deep emotional and psychological need that the younger man meets without even trying, while the older, settled man fails by trying too hard. The younger man is a mirror reflecting her lost youth and a powerful reminder that she still has value. If you're tired of being confused by this new reality, if you're ready to learn the deep psychological trade-offs that drive a woman to abandon stability for excitement, then you need to be here. This channel is about giving you the raw, hard truth that nobody else dares to speak. So do yourself a huge favor and hit that subscribe button right now. We break down the real rules of attraction every single week, and you need this knowledge to survive. The first reason is that the transactional contract is finished. See, when a woman is young, say in her 20s or 30s, her primal survival brain is running strong. It tells her to find the man who can provide the safest environment for her and her kids. That's the contract. She gives him access to her youth and looks. He gives her safety and resources. The older, established man fits this bill perfectly. But by the time she's 40 or 50, that contract is often over. Her kids are grown, she might have her own money, and the financial goal is met. At this point, the older man's great value, his reliable, predictable stability, suddenly becomes his greatest weakness. He has nothing left to offer her survival, and he definitely has nothing left to offer her thrill. Think about a man I knew. Let's call him Robert. Robert was 55, a highly successful lawyer. His wife, Lisa, was 48 and ran her own successful business. Robert was a great husband, predictable, responsible, and always planning the retirement accounts. Lisa left him for her 32-year-old personal trainer. Why? Robert's life was predictable. Every conversation was about investments, mortgages, and scheduling. The young trainer, however, was chaotic, spontaneous, and focused only on the moment and on Lisa's physical vitality. He offered her a feeling Robert couldn't give, the feeling of being alive and reckless. Robert offered security, the young guy offered excitement. She didn't need the security anymore, she needed the excitement. The transactional contract was over, and the emotional contract had no fuel left. The younger man represents a challenge frame, not a provider frame. A successful older woman doesn't need a man to manage her life, she needs a man who doesn't care about managing her life. The older man, often stuck in his ways, wants to lead by organizing and controlling the world around him. He He wants to manage her schedule, give her advice, and talk about long-term planning. He treats her like an investment he needs to protect. The younger man, with less money and fewer established routines, doesn't try to manage her. He approaches her with a fun, careless, present-moment energy that she misses. He challenges her to be spontaneous. He makes her feel like the dominant, powerful force while he just brings the raw, untamed excitement. He looks at her as a powerful woman who he desires, not a retired partner he needs to protect. This makes her feel younger, more reckless, and intensely desirable, a feeling that the older man's familiar security has killed. I had a client, David. He was 60. He was dating a stunning 50-year-old CEO. David tried to impress her with fancy restaurants and serious talk about business, but she always seemed bored. Then she started sleeping with a 28-year-old musician. The musician didn't have 2 pennies to rub together, but he approached her with an attitude that said, "Let's skip your fancy dinner and climb a fence." He didn't care about her job, he cared about her energy. He challenged her powerful corporate frame with raw, playful energy, forcing her to drop her guard and feel like a rebellious teenager again. David offered her a nice seat at the top. The young guy offered her a wild ride on the way down. The chaos and the lack of management were the most attractive things he possessed. If you're learning things right now that nobody in your life has told you, and this is starting to make sense, then do yourself a solid. Hit that subscribe button right now and join the few men who truly understand the psychology of attraction. You deserve to know the truth. Finally, it comes down to the scarcity of time and the fear of the clock. This is the darkest truth. As a woman hits her 40s and 50s, she faces a brutal reality check about her biological clock and her fading options. She sees her youth slipping away. The younger man is her way of buying time back. He is a mirror reflecting her highest value years. When a 50-year-old woman is with a 30-year-old man, she doesn't feel 50, she feels 30. It's a desperate attempt to grab the last bit of raw validation before the clock runs out completely. I met a woman named Cynthia. She was 45, divorced, and successful, but clearly terrified of getting old. She dated men her age, and all they talked about was joint pain and early retirement. It reminded her that she was aging. Then she started dating a 26-year-old photographer. He never talked about retirement. He talked about new adventures, late nights, and traveling the world on a whim. He gave her a purpose that wasn't about stability, but about experiencing raw life. He was her temporary antidote to the fear of death and the loss of her prime. She knew it wouldn't last, but for a short time, she needed that raw energy and validation to feel like her most vital self again. The young man offers her validation that she is still intensely desirable to the generation that is currently high value. That feeling is worth more to her than any safety net. So, the truth is clear. Older women choose younger men not because they want to go backward, but because they need an energetic transaction that reminds them they are still desired, still exciting, and still capable of attracting a high-value frame, even if that frame is just raw, young energy. They trade the old man's stability for the young man's vitality, because at that stage of life, vitality is the rarest and most needed resource. Now, if you've followed this far, you know this truth is deep, and it's uncomfortable. But now that you know, you can choose to be the older man who still carries the vitality, purpose, and unshakable inner energy of a young man without the chaos. You can choose to be the man who offers both stability and excitement. So here is my final smart question for you. If a woman's primal desire shifts from the need for security to the need for vitality as she gets older, what does that tell you about the kind of internal work you need to focus on right now, regardless of your age? Let me know what you think. Drop a comment below right now. Tell me your honest opinion about this trade-off between stability and vitality. Your experience and your thoughts help all the men here understand this deep psychology even better. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our next video on how to keep your masculine energy high no matter what your ID says.